I for sure interview my companies before I make them my clients. Why would I do that? Doesn't everyone want as many clients as they can get? Not the Millionaire Recruiter. Find out in this video why. Hey, welcome to the Millionaire Recruiter. I'm Brianna Rooney, your Millionaire Recruiter. If you haven't yet seen this channel before, it is all about making you the next millionaire recruiter. So if you watched last week, you saw that I'm getting into a company intake. This is done before they become your client. This is to make sure that you're not wasting your time and theirs, yes, that's fair, and that they're going to become a good client of yours and then hopefully make you money and hire, right? So 2 weeks prior, I did do that video as to how to find out, what's a good client or who a good client is going to be. There's a couple of, indicators on that, but then it made me realize, wait a minute, you guys need to know really how to actually do that intake and how to make those right connections and ask those right questions. So last week I touched on 3. This week I'm going to do a couple more and just see how it flows, and if I'm missing anything, I would love for you to comment below, call me out, and then let's talk about it, and maybe it even makes another video, who knows. So all right, let's do it. Well, I'm moving on and I'm thinking, okay, this conversation so far is going really well. What next? Well, we need to know about interview process. That's a really biggie, because here's the thing, a company can know, exactly what they're looking for, have already stumbled, got it wrong a few times, and now really ready to hire. But if their interview process isn't great, they're just not gonna hire. It's just not gonna happen. I mean, it could be a fluke. It eventually has to happen, right? But this is where you become the expert and the guide to get them to success. And I talked about in my last video about how really you don't want to get to the end of this call and have them ask you additional questions. You need to make sure that you're putting your great work on the street and they know they're in good hands and you know what you're talking about, okay? Remember, you're the expert. So you are going to say, all right, here's your interview process. You're going to listen and then you're going to correct. Now, there's not just one way of doing things, but if you're listening to a really long interview process, so for me, what I've seen in tech at least, what's really standard is an intro call, possibly then a tech call, depends on if they do those together or not. It's really great if you can do an intro and tech together, so it's a 1 hour thing. Not all companies do that because there's now bigger recruiters inside a company. So it could be intro call, 30 minutes, 15, 30 minutes, tech call, about 30, 45 minutes, then an on-site, about 4 hours. So there's about 3 steps. It should not be longer than that. Some companies will throw a coding challenge in there. Okay, how long does that take? It is crucial you ask that question. Because sure, coding challenges seem quite normal these days. Not everybody likes it and it is a showstopper, which you should mention to them, because there are some companies who will take that and be like, oh wow, you know what? We do miss a lot of people after or before the code challenge because they just don't do it. They just drop out and we don't hear from them again. Okay, so now they're probably ready to move things a little faster, and they might say, you know what? We'll give that person the opportunity to do the code challenge on site. Or who knows? You don't know. Well, you don't know until you ask, right? So that could be. Now, if a coding challenge is about 30 minutes, yeah, you prep your candidate, and that doesn't seem like that big of a deal. If it's any longer than an hour, first of all, they always are prepped, right? You have to set someone up for success, and the way you set someone up for success is you let them know everything you can to prepare them. But if it's longer than an hour, you have to push back on that a little bit. And the way to do that, especially when you first get on the phone with someone, because remember, you're attacking their baby a little bit. They might have come up with the process themselves, you don't know. You're saying, okay, so is everybody doing that 4 hour coding challenge? who knows what they're gonna say, right? Yes or no, and you're just gonna attack it like that, even if they say, oh yeah, everybody does a coding challenge. Be like, wow, that's interesting. Are you interviewing people that are currently employed? Yes or no? I would say probably not, unless it's a really impressive client, really impressive company. So you can also just kind of push back a little bit, even if they are giving you the answers you don't want to hear, that's not really working out for you. You still give your opinion because it matters and it counts. That's why they're on the phone with you. You're going to say, okay, well, I'm just letting you know that in my experience, longer coding challenges haven't worked out for a lot of companies because there's a lot of amazing companies. I do the Bay Area, amazing companies in the Bay Area that are moving faster than that. I just don't want to see you get left behind just because of that little thing. And then you suggest another way. Can they do that on site? Can they split it up? And you're going to give them the reason behind you pushing back. It's not because you want to close this deal faster, although you do. It's really because a lot of the good people, they are currently working and they have a job. They also probably have families. They don't have enough time to do this coding challenge properly and, fast within a week, right? So that time is everything when it comes to hiring, and you really need to voice your opinion on this particular issue because, again, it's just not going to work out. And also, you are the expert. So after we've gotten all these little bugs out, I'm assuming they're going to appreciate all of this knowledge. We're going to move on. So now you're going to say, what else is important? What are we missing here? Offer process. You need to exactly know that if you have gotten this person this far, you've got them through their interview process, and now it's offer time. You need to know how that works. Are you as a recruiter and specialist going to be making this offer? Or is the client going to be making this offer? And how does that work? Are they going to keep you in the loop? Again, this is great because if they say no, that they handle it all, first of all, that's fine if a client wants to handle their own offer process because it's very thoughtful, I believe, and they know how to sell their company probably better than anybody. However, being kept in the loop is extremely important, and this is what you're going to want to tell them. You're going to say, look, I understand, I think that's awesome that you guys handle your own offer process. I'm sure candidates really appreciate that, but you have to keep me in the loop because I'm really close to my candidates for the most part, right? And you do want to say this. You can't be close to everybody. It doesn't happen. Everyone's so different. People move at different speeds. People, who knows, right? Maybe you just didn't hit it off with this candidate. But you want to let the company know that for the most part, you're very close to your candidates. And therefore, you can give them information that will help in the close. Or you can give them information that perhaps the candidate isn't telling their potential future employer. That is key. And so this again is sharing your knowledge and making you very important. So, what's there left to ask? Time. After you know all of this stuff, how long does this process from start to finish take? For the most part, if someone's talking to a recruiter, that means they're ready to hire. Not always the case, but let's just assume that they're ready to hire. So you're gonna ask, all right, in a perfect world, I send you a resume tomorrow morning. How soon from start to finish, from first interview to offer, references, who knows, are you able to go? And this is really gonna put them on the spot. So what's normal? 1 to 2 weeks tops. In a fast market where they really want some good people, they need to move quickly. And if they can't, it's gonna be a problem. If they tell you 3 to 4 weeks, longer than that's absurd, but if they tell you 3 to 4 weeks, you push back. Again, this is where it comes to you being the specialist in your industry. Like I said, I'm in tech, moves fast. Maybe the industry that you're in doesn't move as fast. I don't know, I think it's crazy. But you wanna let them know whether or not that's a good or bad thing. And by the way, this is like best case scenario. This is like if your candidate is available, they're available, all of those things. But either way, you need to figure that out because everything might have sounded really great up until this point when you get to how fast can this be done? And all of a sudden, ding, 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 that's why they can't hire, can't move fast enough. So share your knowledge. All right, so I shared 3 more questions that are in the company intake to make them your client. What else am I missing? Definitely comment below. Would love to hear what you have to say. And come on, check out themillionairerecruiter.com on that 6-week bootcamp course.